bend it this way. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Maria Jordania. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but not raised here. My parents met here because my mom was a vocal performance major, and she met my dad while taking his master class. We lived here in Chattanooga because of my father's job. He was the Chattanooga Symphony conductor. So I grew up around classical music my entire life. Yes, yes. And we lived here until I was about 2.5, and then we kept moving because of my dad's job, traveling musician. I learned at a young age that music was really important part of life. It was definitely a big part of my family's life. And when I was about 5 years old, my parents were like, all right, it's time to choose your instrument. What do you want to play? And I knew exactly what I wanted to play. I had seen this instrument being played at my dad's orchestra many times. It was the coolest, most magical instrument. You know what it was? The harp. The coolest. Is the coolest. And they said no. And I was very adamant. And, you know, I remember the negotiations that went on. And we had to compromise because, you know, I was like, harp or nothing. So they said, you need to learn the piano. Let me tell you why. They leveled with me. They said, if you learn how to play the piano, you'll be able to play anything because you can read both bass and treble clefs. And I didn't know it at the time, but a harp is just like a piano, but it's standing this way. So they were right. So I was like, okay. By the time I was 6, I started practicing piano every single day. Before I did anything fun, before I could hang out with my friends or watch TV or do anything, I had to practice. And as much as I hated it back then, my parents were right. So annoying. They were right, and I loved being able to play. I did competitions and talent shows, and even got to play with my dad's orchestra. I played Haydn Concerto in D in Kharkov, Ukraine, when I was like 14. It was so scary. Play with my dad. Had to be perfect. But it was fun. I never did get to play the harp. It's on my bucket list. Maybe one day. You know, as much as my dad pushed me to do piano, my favorite thing was singing. And I don't know if I knew it at the time or anybody knew it at the time that I was actually a vocalist. I remember we'd sing in the car, 4-part harmonies. I thought everybody's family did that, right? Partridge Family. I watched too much Sound of Music or something. I don't know. But yeah, so we'd sing in the car a lot. He'd make me find a different harmony, a weird one, that way. And that was the first Georgian and Russian I ever learned because, see, my mother is American, and my father is from the Republic of Georgia. And his mom was Russian, so he spoke both fluently. And he was like, okay, it's only fair. You got to learn my languages, too. So both my younger brother and I, we moved, when I was 12, we moved to the Republic of Georgia. We got to live with my family and went to school and learned to read it and write it and speak it, and then came back here and went to school. And then when I was 15, they were like, all right, time to learn Russian. And I was like, why? I already speak Georgian. It's so much cooler. But my dad's rules, you know, so we went. We actually moved to Kharkov, Ukraine, and we were there for a minute, and I went to school there and learned to read and write and speak Russian. It was tough, though, because Georgian and Russian, if you don't know, are completely different languages. They're as different as English and Chinese. It's just really, really really different. So it was really hard because my dad, he told the principal of the school and all the teachers that no one was allowed to speak English to his kids. And they didn't. And I couldn't understand anybody. And everybody smoked cigarettes. Like, I was 15. It was crazy. I did not fit in at first. And for about a month, I'd come home and cry every day because I didn't have any friends. It's fine. I quickly realized a really fast, easy way to make friends in English class. I would help people with their answers, and then everybody wanted to sit next to me. But anyways, I made some lifelong friends there that I'm still in contact with today. And even though most of them have fled because of the war that's happening, I got to experience some really amazing things and made me really grateful from a very young age. And I remember my dad always saying, I'm not going to tell you to not be a musician, because you're probably going to be one, but have a plan B and maybe a plan C, because it's just really hard, really difficult to make it as a working musician. It's a hustle. I mean, it's a hustle that you love, but a hustle nonetheless. And I come from a really stubborn stock of people who've had to carry on. My dad was born in the Republic of Georgia in 1942. And he defected from the USSR in '83. Woo! Crazy story. Every time he told it, it was so cool because, I mean, the things where it's a crazy story. Awesome story. He taught me that no matter what life throws at you, you got to stay strong and don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. And if you're unhappy with your circumstances, you need to change it. And that good can come after bad and light after the darkness. So this next song is called Dig. And please give it up for Alex Keese. He's accompanying me tonight on the guitar. best.